It's time for our gentle restorative yoga blend. In this class, we'll do some gentle yoga, mostly stretching, for about half the class. Then we'll be doing some restorative work and a little bit of yin work along the way. For the restorative work, we'll be bolstering and propping ourselves up. So it's good to have blankets, pillows, cushions off the couch, towels, whatever you want to use to support yourself in our restorative poses. In our restorative poses, we're going to be holding those poses for several minutes. Sometimes a pose that you can hold for a minute or two comfortably becomes uncomfortable after several minutes. That's why we bolster ourselves. One of the reasons to help support the joints so we're not uncomfortable and we can relax into those poses. As I record this, it's a bit of a rainy day and kind of a quiet day, and reminds me of Patanjali's second sutra, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is how he defined yoga. Yoga is the calming of the fluctuations of the mind stuff. So we ultimately practice yoga to calm our minds and find some peace, to step back from the mind, to become the observer of the mind. I like to think that as we practice our breath work, we practice observing the breath. That is a step toward observing the mind, calming ourselves, not getting all caught up and spun up in things. So let's start comfortably seated. You're welcome to sit on a blanket, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're going to rock side to side. Just start by grounding our sits bones into the floor. Gently closing our eyes, we can rest our hands on our thighs. Palms can face up or palms can face down. Stacking the spine tall, pressing up the crown of the head toward the ceiling, finding lift in the torso, and just bringing awareness to the breath. And for now, just observing the breath, the inhale and the exhale. Just feel that air moving in and out of your body. Now let's become aware of the length of our breath, the length of the inhale, and the length of the exhale. Now let's begin to try to lengthen the exhale even more, perhaps to the point where the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. This exhale is where our parasympathetic nervous system comes into play. Helps relax us, calm us down, slow our heart rates, lower our blood pressure. Let's return to a normal breath. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose, sigh out through the mouth, and seal our lips. And we'll breathe in and out through the nose with our Ujjayi breath, building heat in the body. That's our ocean breath. We achieve this with a light constriction in the back of the throat, just making that breath audible to ourselves. We can open our eyes. We can grab our knees. Let's lift the chest into a seated cow pose, gently arching the back and inhaling. And as we exhale, we scoop and curl into a seated cat pose. Inhaling, we lift into cow. Exhaling, we scoop into cat. And let's let the breath tell us when to move. So we're following the breath. When the body says inhale, we lift into cow. When the body says exhale, we scoop into cat. Just follow your own breath for a couple of cycles. Just loosening up the spine. Next time you finish a cycle, we'll come back to neutral. Sitting up nice and tall. Perhaps we place the right hand on the right side of our ribs and press our ribs over to the left side. Left hand can press the ribs back to the right side. You can use your hand or not. It's a nice tactile cue. Just sliding the rib cage from side to side. And as we finish the last side, we'll come back to center. And we'll combine those movements, that cat-cow with that sliding the rib cage, to stir the pot. So we'll lift into cow. We'll push our ribs to the right. We'll scoop into cat. Slide the ribs to the left. Lift to cow. Press to the right. Scoop to cat. Slide left. One more time. Cow. Right. Cat. Left. Back to center. Reversing directions. Cow. Slide left. Scoop to cat. Slide right. Come back to cow. Two more times. Stirring the pot. One more time. Coming back to center. Let's just switch the cross of our legs. Let's practice eagle arms just to loosen up our shoulders a bit. I'll give you a few options here. One option, we'll take the right hand to the left shoulder, the left hand to the right shoulder. Just hug ourselves in. Try to pull your shoulders in. Second option, right hand to left shoulder, left hand pulls over. Stretching the back of the shoulder over here. Third option, let's take the right arm out, the left arm up. We're going to sweep the left arm under the right arm, catch the right arm in the bend of the left elbow. We'll bend the right hand, right elbow. We can touch the backs of our hands. We can touch our palms together if we like, and lift up. So make a choice for any version of eagle that you like. Those shoulder blades slide forward. Feel a stretch across the backs of your shoulders. And release it. Other side. Option 1. Hug in. Option 2. Left hand across the right shoulder. Right hand pulls it over. Option 3. Left arm out. Right arm up. Sweep it under. Hook the elbow. Touch the backs of the hands or the palm. And lift the elbows. Eagle arms. Shoulder stretch. Breathe and relax. Release that. We're going to slide down to one side now and roll onto our backs for an articulating bridge. So with our feet planted close to our backside, ideally we could brush our heels with our fingertips. Let's put our weight into our shoulder blades and our heels. Let's peel the tailbone up and then lift the spine one vertebra at a time as we inhale. You can stop at straight hips or you can lift into a back bend, whatever works best for you. When we exhale, we'll roll down from the top of the spine one vertebra at a time, really trying to mobilize the spine, loosen things up. Inhale and lift and heel up like we're unzipping a zipper. We'll exhale and roll back down. 3 more times, articulating bridge. Fill it up. Nice and smooth. Trying to find all that movement in the spine, like your spine is undulating. 2, inhale, lift. Exhale back down. And 1. And rolling back down to the floor. Let's now cross the right leg over the left leg and let your knees fall to the left. We can bring our arms out to the side. Let's try to keep our shoulder blades on the floor. We can turn our heads to the right, look away from the knees for a nice spinal twist. Let's lift back to center. Uncross. Hug our knees in for a second. Rock out the back. Bring the feet down again. This time left leg over right leg. Arms out to the side. Knees fall to the left side, right side. Head turns to the left. Spinal twist. Inhale and exhale. Relax into it. We'll lift back to center. Uncross the legs, hug the knees. Bring the feet down. We'll roll onto one side on our way to rolling all the way over to hands and knees. Always feel free to use a blanket under your knees. Be very comfortable here. Stacking our hips over our knees, stacking our shoulders over our wrists. We always have the option to make fists for wrists. That feels better to keep those wrists more neutral. Take a cat-cow here, following the breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to scoop. At your own pace. We'll come back to neutral as we finish up the current cycle. We'll sway the hips from side to side. Come back to stillness. We'll barrel roll the hips around 3 times in one direction. Reverse direction. Coming back to stillness, we can slide the right leg back, rest on the ball of the foot, gently rock. Float that leg up into the air. Extend the left arm forward for spinal balance. Engaging the core, drawing the abs in, trying to lift the pelvic floor. Now bending that right leg so the sole of our foot faces the ceiling. Sweeping the left hand back, trying to grab the foot or ankle. If we can grab it, we'll kick the foot to the hand, open up into kind of a kneeling dancer pose, if you will. We'll release back down. Cat-cow. Back to neutral. Sliding the left foot back, rocking the ball of the foot. Floating the leg up, extending the right arm forward, engaging the core for spinal balance. Keep that head and neck in line with the spine. Now bending the left knee so the sole of our foot faces the ceiling, sweeping the right hand back, seeing if we can grab the foot or ankle, and if we can grab it, we'll kick into the hand with the foot and open the hip. Let's release back down to hands and knees. We'll bring the big toes together, open our knees wide, and sit back for our first child's pose today. Let's try for extended child's pose with our arms forward, our hips sinking back, our spine tractioning gently. As we breathe, inhale to expand and exhale to sink those hips lower to your heels. Let's inhale and exhale our hands over to the right side of the mat. We have an option to stack our left hand on top of our right hand. Let's inhale to expand the left side ribs and exhale to sink that left hip lower to the heel. And continue to use that breath to expand the left side body, creating openness and space, increasing our vital capacity. Let's inhale and exhale our hands back to shoulder width. Again, just finding that length in the spine, bringing our focus back to the breath. And then inhale and exhale the hands over to the left side of the mat, with an option to stack the right hand on top of the left hand. Inhaling to expand the right side ribs, exhaling to sink that right hip lower to the heel. Using that breath to open up our rib cage and expand our vital capacity. Let's inhale and exhale our hands back to shoulder width. Settle in one more time. Focus on lengthening your spine. And on our next inhale, we're going to raise our hips up and just cheat our knees in so that we're stacked. Hips over knees in all fours, and we can slide our hands forward and sink our forehead down to puppy pose. Getting some nice length in the spine here. Let's slide forward onto our elbows, sink our hips, lift the chest for Sphinx. Packing those shoulder blades down the back, stretching the abdominals. High breath. Let's slide our hands forward and press into our hands. Seal pose. Let's relax for a moment. Press back up to hands and knees. This time we're going to inhale our right arm up into the air. And exhale, reaching under. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. And inhale, this time we'll thread the needle, reaching right on through. Bringing that right shoulder down to the mat, resting the right temple down on the floor, looking under the left arm. And we can press into the left hand to deepen our twist here, or we can slide that left hand further up, open the side body more. If we've slid that hand forward, let's slide it back under our shoulders now. And we'll inhale and raise that right arm back up into the air one more time. Exhale back down to the mat. Back to all fours. Left arm. Inhale up. Exhaling, reaching through. Inhaling up. Exhaling to reach. Inhaling up. Exhaling, threading the needle, dropping the shoulder, resting the temple, looking under the right arm, either pressing into the right hand if we like, can slide that arm forward, opening up our side body more. And breathe. Nice way to gently twist the torso and stretch the shoulders again. If our hand has gone forward, we'll bring it back under the shoulder. We'll inhale to rise it up. Exhaling back down, back to all fours. Now stepping the left foot forward, we're coming into a low lunge for Anjaneyasana. This will be a stretch for our hip flexors and quadriceps, so we might want to walk the right foot a little further back if we need to in order to find openness in that hip and quad. Bring our hands up to our thighs so we can lift our chest. Keeping our chest lifted will give us more stretch in the hip flexors. If we lean forward, we're going to lose a little bit of that stretch. It's okay if you have to do that. And then if we like, we can also roll our shoulders back and sweep our arms up. Extended arms. Anjaneyasana. Just think about shifting your weight forward and down. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling deeper into the stretch. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths here. And now we're shifting back to Hanumanasana for a hamstring stretch. We're going to extend that front leg without locking it out completely. Keep a little micro bend there. Flex the foot, hinge forward. Now if you want to grab blocks and hold blocks here, or pillows or cushions to keep yourself up off the floor, that's fine. But we're trying to keep our spine long. So we're not rounding over here. We're keeping length in our spines. Pressing toward our leg for a nice hamstring stretch in Hanumanasana. Breathe and sink deeper with the exhales. Now we're sliding forward back into Anjaneyasana, walking the hands up, perhaps extending the arms overhead. Breathing and sinking deeper into that hip opening stretch. Pressing back once more into Hanumanasana. Long spine, hinging forward. Now from here, we're going to shift forward to low lunge and bring both hands inside the foot, coming into a lizard pose. We can start here with a long spine. If we want to, we can lower down a bit. If we have blocks or cushions, we can stack those up. So I could come down to my blocks if I wanted to. I can also tip my knee out and roll onto the edge of my foot. Open the hip more there for more sensation. So the basic option is just coming forward in forward lunge, in low lunge, with arms extended. You could also have your hands on blocks here. Just find out a place that you can hold that's comfortable, that's opening up your hips. You can always drop the knee out to the side slightly, roll onto the edge of your foot. You can always drop lower onto your elbows if you like. Breathe and sink. Walk ourselves back up. Let's bring that left leg back. Sit back for a moment. Catch our breath. Relax. We'll do the other side now. Let's step the right foot forward. Moving into low lunge. Remembering we can always walk that left foot further back. We can always use blankets here too if you want a blanket under your knee. It's always a nice option. Walking my hands up now to my thigh. Lifting my chest, open up my hips more. Or I can pack my shoulders and raise my arms. A little more extension here. In Anjaneyasana. Sinking forward. Inhaling and exhaling forward. breaths. And now pressing back. Hanumanasana. Again, if you've got blocks, you can pull them right here to your sides. Lengthen your spine, hinge forward. Hamstring stretch. Always want to be careful stretching your hamstrings. We don't want to overstretch them. Shouldn't be painful. Can be a little bit uncomfortable, but not painful. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to sink a little deeper. We'll slide back forward. Anjaneyasana, walking up to the thigh, lifting the chest, pocketing the shoulders if we wish, extending up. That's our choice for today. Sinking forward. And then pressing back one more time. Hanumanasana. Inhale the spine nice and long. Exhale, press the chest toward the thigh. Feel the hamstring stretch. And now shifting forward, low lunge, coming into lizard pose. Both hands come inside the foot. We can hang out here. We can drop the knee out, roll to the side of the foot if we like. We can lower down onto blocks or cushions to deepen the pose. Just find whatever works for you. Breathe into it. Sink a little bit deeper. If we're on our forearms, let's come back up onto our hands. If we're on the edge of our foot, let's lift our foot back up here, round the foot down, and we'll step back. We'll sit back, take a breath. We're going to move into our restorative portion now, using our cushions, pillows, bolsters. If you've got blocks, you can use those. We're going to start with a pigeon pose today. And we've been doing a lot of hip opening stuff, so we're probably ready for that now. You're going to need a bolster or cushion to sit on, and then a pile of stuff to fold forward onto. So, I take my big bolster to sit on, and then I pile up my blocks pillow. I'll adjust these in a minute. So I'm going to start sitting on my bolster. I'm going to take my right leg behind me. Try to extend it back. So this gives me some nice height up off the floor, so I'm not quite as going as deep into my hip as I would be normally. Now from here, I'm going to fold forward. And you can use as much stuff here as you would like to. You can raise yourself as high as you would like to, whatever gives you comfort. Remember, we'll be here for several minutes. So find a level that works for you. Make sure your front foot is flexed. And then relax. We'll bring our hands down. We'll inhale to lengthen our spine, and we'll exhale to lower ourselves down into our supported pigeon pose. You can stack your hands and rest your head on your hands. You can turn your head to the side. You can grab your elbows and rest your head here. You can find whatever works best for you. And just breathe and relax into it. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Let those exhales open your hips and sink you deeper. Just try to let any random thoughts float on by. You are just the observer of those thoughts. You are not those thoughts. And follow your breath. Now bringing our hands down on either side of our support, pressing ourselves back up. We'll switch sides. Bring the right leg forward. And we'll sweep the left leg back. Let's keep that right foot flexed. come down on either side of our support. Inhale, lengthen to the spine, and exhale, releasing down. Settling in. Making sure everything feels grounded and supported. Letting the shoulder blades melt down our backs. And follow the breath. Now bringing our hands back down beside our support, we can press ourselves back up. Bring that left leg forward. For our next pose, I'd like to do a supported lateral bend to open up that side body. We'll need a support that we can lie on our side. This will be too big for me. So I'm going to roll up a blanket. Now, this is the main support you'll have to have for the pose, something to rest on to create that lateral flexion. You might want to have some extra stuff handy. I'll get to that in a second. You do want to have your shoulders supported, so if your shoulder's not on the floor, you'll have to support that. You may want something to rest your head on as well. So, with that said, I'm just going to kneel next to my blanket here, a little bit of space, because I want to lie onto my side. I want to kind of catch right in the waist, maybe a little bit of lower ribs, but mainly in that waist, to create this gentle bend in my spine here. Now, again, if my shoulder's not grounded here, I could support my shoulder, or just for comfort, I can put a blanket here if I like. Let's start with the legs. The legs can stay stacked as I have them here. We could slide that top leg back like deer pose legs, bringing our top knee to our bottom heel. Or I can slide my legs out, my top leg forward. Get more length here, more openness. My arms can stay here. I could also extend my top arm out, my bottom arm out, but I can also extend my top arm out overhead like this. This is sort of my maximum opening up of my side body in this pose, but you'll find whatever works for you. And settle into it. And breathe. Think about drawing breath into the top of your body, the top side ribs. Your ribs do have muscles that connect them, intercostal muscles. And throughout the class, we are frequently trying to open those muscles and stretch them out. Sometimes I say we're expanding our vital capacity, we're expanding our ability to inhale fully, increasing our respiratory capacity. Not a bad idea. Now with our top hand pressing into the floor, we can lift ourselves back up and we'll switch sides. You can either turn around or turn over. Again, we're kneeling, placing our support a little distance so we can lie over it. We can rest the head on the arm. We can keep the legs stacked. We can bring our legs to deer pose with our top knee at our bottom heel. We can extend the legs out with the top foot forward. We can extend the bottom arm out. We can extend the top arm out. And just bring breath to the side body and relax. top hand, we can press ourselves back up. And prepare for our final pose of the day. I'm going to offer you some options here. You can take a regular Shavasana. You could do constructive rest on your back with your knees bent. Perhaps your feet a little bit wider than usual so that your knees fall inward. And relax here with your arms out, your palms up. Or we can take this pose and support our hips and make it into a supported bridge pose. And that is what I'm going to do. With supported bridge, you can lift to whatever level is comfortable. Don't overdo it. I'm going to use this today. And I also like to strap my legs, strap my thighs, so I can just relax my legs better, knowing that they're not going to fall out to the side. So, this part is optional. If you have a belt or strap you'd like to use, it's not tight. It's not necessarily pulling your thighs together. It's just supporting them so they're not going to fall out. I can ground my feet, relax my head. I can lift my hips and just slide whatever cushion or bolster or block I'd like to use under my hips. And because my legs are strapped, I can feel very relaxed in my legs, relax in my core, relax in my arms, relax in my neck and head. Our eyes are closed. We can just feel our bodies sinking into the floor or our supports, so we're nice and grounded. If we have a cloth to cover our eyes, we could use that as well. And we'll come back into our breath, come into our final relaxation. Deepening our breath, we begin to come back into the body. We can rock our heads from side to side. We can wiggle our fingers and toes. If we're in constructive rest, we're just going to stay there for now. If we're in Shavasana, we'll bend our knees and plant our feet a little wider than hip width, coming into constructive rest. If we're in supported bridge, we'll rise up just enough to slide out our bolster or support, lower our hips to the floor. If we strap their legs together, we'll unstrap them. Perhaps bringing our feet a little wider apart. So now we're all together in constructive rest, and we can sway our knees from side to side. And eventually we'll pick a side and roll onto that side, stacking one hip over the other, stacking one shoulder over the other, resting the head on the arm, enjoying 2 or 3 more calm breaths. And then using our top hand, we'll press ourselves up with as much ease and as little effort as possible, returning to our comfortable seat, grounding our sits bones, stacking our spines, packing our shoulders, lifting our sternums, bringing hands to heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.